Hi folks, hi modelers. I'm back again for updates, and this time as my last part 2.5, I've closed up the hull and I've already glued shut the top deck. So I've already put up all the side decks and all the big parts, you know, like this here, and all the sponsons, and this is how it looks like from the bottom. So okay, I'll explain a few issues that I had, and it's starting off with here, things like these. When I built these decks, I put in the railings all the way until the end, but I found out that it's overlapping with these parts, so I had to cut off the rails to fit it. So this happened at a few places. I'm not sure about this one, maybe fit in, but there were a few places that needed to be cut. And let me just turn this around. I think this was one of the areas that I had to cut. You can see here. So yeah, I didn't expect that to happen, but it did. And so is this place here. It's the same. So these kind of issues happen when I was putting on these big pots here. And I think there was another issue, like same goes for here. I had to cut some of the railings here. So I didn't see that coming, but anyway, I got it cut and attach all the big parts. So this is how it looks like. Yeah, I think I had also issues here. I had to cut it. And so here. So yeah, if you're building these parts separately, I think you might want to test fit it first. But anyway, I managed to put in everything. And okay, there's another thing which I want to inform, which are these elevator parts. These parts will not, according to the instructions, it's supposed to like go in last after you fit in all these big parts, and including this sponson, but it will not fit in because there's like a rib here. I think you can see the rib over here, so it's not gonna fit in. It's a tight fit. So what happens is I had to take out this sponson to fit in these elevator parts. And here over here I had to actually sand it a bit to fit into these parts. So same goes for, I think, all the elevator parts. See this, there's a rip here, so when you're trying to fit this in, it's actually like this thing is blocking the elevator from going in, and there's no, there's like almost no room clearance here for the elevator to go in. So you have to take out this sponson to get it in. So I managed to do that, and the thing about these elevators here, when I put in the elevator decks, this thing here, it actually goes all the way down, and it's not at the same level as the lower deck. So I had to put some small, I think you can't see it, but there's a small rib there. It's not a rib, but it's just a plastic card, so that it will actually stay at the same level with the lower deck. But I'll tell you a little bit more about this deck when it's at the lower position. Actually, there is a gap here between the lower deck and the elevator deck. So in real life, if there was a gap, I don't think they can transfer the aircrafts onto this. But this is a model, so probably they couldn't align it exactly to this surface. But when it's at the upper position, it fits in nicely, exactly according to the shape of the elevator deck. So those are the things which I found, and I've already unmasked the bottom, but I've kept the masking here because I have like a cushion here, and in fact, while I'm working on this ship, I will actually still put it on so that I don't get any scratches at the bottom. And this is for the LED lights connection. So let me just sorry about that. Let me just put my camera here, and I will flip the ship so that you can see much better. Okay, so I've also taken off the top deck's masking, and I'm actually I haven't completed the decals, but this is what the decals was what I was working on today. So I just managed to put in these few landing strips and some of these decals. So they look pretty okay. And okay, let me just tell you something. when I was actually working on this earlier, I had it on a smaller box. Actually, I have this on this what do you call this? Like there's a wheel down there, so it's easier for me to move around. And I had it on a smaller box, and what happened was while I was working on this ship, since the box was like so small, I had one hand holding it, and when I tried to grab some tools, basically the ship actually tipped over, went down, and actually hit the, you know, that box over there. And yeah, the nightmare came true. When I picked up the ship, there was nothing happened on the front, but I heard some sound from the interior. And what happened was 3 planes came off. The C2 Corsair and a Phantom came off. Yeah, I can't really see it from here, but somehow I managed to super glue it back to the deck. We are using some tweezers, so I was lucky that, you know, I could actually fix that. And also, see, the thing about this ship is it's so big, it's so long, that every time when I move it around, I'm always hitting something. So I've actually did a lot of damage. I've actually smashed up a lot of these railings. It might not look so bad, but I think if you look closely, yeah, some of the railings are a bit wrinkled, like this here. I tried to repair it, but it's not too bad. But every time when I move, it's always, especially all the corners, always hitting something. So yeah, it's quite dangerous to work with big models. Okay. And I had another accident, which is after I had all the big parts on the hull, I had to sort of repaint here. I painted it once, but after I stick on all these parts, of course there were gaps, so I had to fill it up, and I had to sand it, paint it. So when I paint these huge areas, I'm using a spray can or a rattle can. And when I do that, I can't really do it in the room because it's too smelly. So I have to bring the ship outside of my house to spray it. And when I took this ship back into the house, when I entered the door, these two things hit the door and it came off. So I had to glue it back, do a little sanding, and, you know, go out of the house and spray it again. So that's what's there's been a lot of these kind of hiccups along the way. And okay, some notes on the decals. trumpeter actually had this side decal wrongly done, because the position of these strips here are actually not according to the instructions. If you look at this, it's actually basically they had this mirrored wrongly. So if I had this thin side on the other side, it would be the same this kind of arrangements. But what happened was, of course, you know, I had to follow this, the thicker side has to be on the inside. So what happens is this arrangement is a bit off. Not that it matters a lot, but still it's not according. So, but I can't do anything about it. And another weird thing is, if you look at here, there is a blank area where this white thing is not there, and same goes for here. So if you look at this again, if you look at these instructions, they have all these white, like white thick lines here, but on the decal it's not there. I can show. Yeah, so if you notice, the white lines are not there. But yeah, again, maybe it doesn't really matter, or maybe later I can just paint this area. But it would be dangerous to stick masking tapes on the decal, because it would come off unless I coat it with a clear first. I'm not sure if I will paint that, or maybe I might just leave it like that. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing about the decal. And here I had to cut it because, you know, it's actually a one piece, so I had to just cut it, and not really a big deal there. Actually, the model that I bought from Trumpeter, I'm not sure everybody's model is the same, but particularly mine has quite a bad sink marks. If you notice, you can see, yeah, you can see the lumps. So these sink marks are quite bad. And actually I noticed it before I painted it, and especially this area was really bad. So what I've done is I've sanded a lot around this area to get it flat. But when you sand it, you actually lose some details on all this. There's a hole here. It's actually to tie, maybe to tie the aircraft. You lose that kind of detail. So I cut down on the sanding because I didn't want to sand all the way. But then now, you know, the sink mark is quite visible. But I'll have to live with that. You can try to see that on this surface, it's not that bad actually, because I've sanded here. But later when, you know, when all the planes are on the ship, maybe those sink mark will not be too visible. So anyway, this is, yeah, how far I have I've gone through so far. And besides the main deck hull, I'm also at the same time working on a lot of these. I'm actually on this step now. So there's a lot of these life rafts, and yeah, there's so many of them. I have not completed it, but there's a lot. So yeah, and I have to actually mark the box here so that I know which one is which. I don't really see any difference between like this and this, but the parts are different. Maybe it's a slight difference, nothing noticeable, but it is different. And over here, I've done the radar tower, and this is the radar tower, and this is mostly Edward photo H. The reason why I did this is because they actually started these few parts here, and then I noticed that later on in the other steps, yeah, here they have the radar towers step here. So I just, you know, I just did it anyway, and this was very difficult. And this is the trumpeters photo H, which is a bit different. And the thing about Edward's photo H is actually it's my first time, and it's quite soft. So when you turn it around, you know, bend it for like 2 times, it actually breaks up compared to the trumpeter. In fact, the trumpeter is more, you know, maybe it's more suitable for amateurs like me. It's easier to work with. And yeah, and also another disaster which I encountered is this. When I primed this photo H with a metal primer, it actually, I had it on a cardboard box, and it actually melted the paper, and it got stuck to the photo H. So you can see that it's very dirty. I cleaned it with the tool cleaner, so I can still use it. You can see some whitish color on the photo H. So that was actually the paper sticking on it, and you know, it wouldn't come off. So that, yeah, I had that disaster. So this was another piece that, you know, which I didn't have the railings, but railings arrived, and yeah, I've completed the railings on this piece. But I'm not going to stick this on the deck because I know I will break this. So probably I can just stick it last, and same goes for this. Anything that is you know, sticking out from the ship, I know I will break it, so I'm not gonna stick those yet. So my next step would be to complete up all these small tiny bits and and put it on the side of the decks. So there's quite a few pages of this, and once that is done, but before I stick all these things on, I have to complete up the decal work, because I don't want to do decals when I have all the things sticking on the side, because I know I'm gonna touch it and break it. So yeah, I'll probably have like another 3 parts to the build, because I will stick everything on the side and then I'll work on the island, and then lastly I'll still have to work on the jet planes. So I'm thinking maybe another 3 to 4 videos. That's my estimate. And yeah, I know it's taking me time to upload. I apologize for that, but I think that's my speed. I can't do much about it. So yeah, anyway, thanks for those who are following this build, and I hope you get a lot of pointers from what I'm doing. And yeah, just wait for my next update. I will try to do it within 3 weeks, but now I think my pace is 4 weeks for a video. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and wait for my next update. Right? Thanks a lot. Bye guys.